3 ways intelligent people deal with narcissists over the holidays. Let's do it. Hi friends, Tamie M. Joyce here, Empowerment Life Coach, creator of the Freedom Class and the Ascension Class. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please take a second to say hello and introduce yourself in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a new video. So let's talk about 3 ways intelligent people deal with narcissists over the holidays. Now, to begin with, during the holidays more than ever, it's important not to slip into codependent amnesia when it comes to the narcissistic people in your life. And instead, remember that people with a destructive narcissist personality pattern actually derive satisfaction from creating chaos, unnecessary drama, and pushing others' buttons, and never more so than during a highly charged occasion like the festivities over the holiday season. Remember, they need to be the center of attention, and that's any attention. Even negative attention will do for a narcissist. They need to feel superior. They need to feel dominant and in control. And they especially need to have a target to project their disowned shadow onto. But more than anything, they'll need retribution for any perceived slight, criticism, or rejection they may have felt from you. So, if you've been smart enough to keep your distance for a while, and now you're contemplating going back in because it's the holidays and therefore you feel obligated, know that given the chance, given the opportunity, they will do and say whatever it takes to try to make you look and or feel bad for doing or saying whatever you've needed to take good care of yourself. Especially if that included actually standing up for yourself in any way. And the reality is, if for whatever reason a narcissistic person sees you as a threat and therefore you are now a target, there really isn't much you're going to be able to do to change that. If they can't get away with targeting you aggressively, they'll do so passively, and any pushback from you can and will be used against you. I'm not saying don't push back. There are times when that's appropriate, for sure. Christmas dinner may not be that time, though. What I am saying is, know the game. Know who you're dealing with and proceed accordingly. If you can avoid confrontation, especially over the holidays, then do so. You'll be better off. The bottom line is this. It boils down to doing whatever you need to do to fortify yourself if you're choosing to expose yourself to narcissistic people over the holiday season. Meaning, you've been doing your own personal healing and recovery work, you've been taking really good care of yourself, you're well rested, well nourished, well hydrated, calm, cool, and collected, you're peaceful, and you're boundaried. You're not emotional, hypersensitive, stressed out, fearful, hungover, sick, or weak in any way. If you're in any of those things, those conditions, don't go there. They'll see you as easy prey, and that's the last thing you need. It would be better for you to stay home alone and nurture yourself rather than set yourself up to be re-traumatized. So, be aware of your emotional state and do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. Now, of course, you could simply choose not to go at all, regardless of your emotional state, and the problem would be solved. You can stop the video now and go do something nice for yourself. But for those of you who, for whatever reason, feel you can't completely disengage at this time of year, and you're feeling strong enough to go in there, here's something you'll want to keep in mind. Narcissists are tricky little creatures, which, of course, is just another way of saying they are master manipulators. And one of the ways they are most likely to attempt to trick you over the holidays is with the hoovering technique. This is the time of year when you can most expect the narcissistic hoover, meaning they'll call, text, show up, or approach you at the office party or family function being all nicey-nicey, maybe even buttering you up with a compliment or two, acting as if nothing ever happened, everything's fine. Given the chance, they may even play the pity card in the hopes of winning you over. Whatever tactic they use to hoover you back into their toxic abuse cycle, decide in advance that you will not fall prey to this manipulative ploy, no matter how much they may be pretending or professing to have changed. I assure you, narcissists do not change. Rather, they use things like a temporary change in attitude, demeanor, and behavior, compliments and flattery, a victim story as a means of regaining control and sucking you back into the abuse cycle. It's a setup. Don't fall for it. Instead of falling for the Hoover, here are 3 ways intelligent people deal with narcissists over the holidays. Number 1, set time limits. Setting time limits and distancing yourself when necessary as a means of self-care and self-preservation is an intelligent thing to do, especially over the holidays. In fact, it is fully your job and responsibility to set these limits for yourself. No one else's, yours. When we were kids, we didn't have a choice in terms of who we were exposed to and for how long. We're adults now. We get to choose. So remember, it's your responsibility to take care of yourself in this fashion, and you don't need anyone else's permission to do so. There is always a way. For example, if you know you're going to be exposed to toxic people, depending on the level of dysfunction that you might be dealing with in that particular dynamic, you probably already know that things can get real heated and go real sideways really quickly, especially at this time of year. So when it comes to setting limits, deciding in advance what amount of time you'll spend at that function is a good idea. Consider arriving late and leaving early. Make whatever excuse you need to shorten your time of exposure. So show up late and stay just long enough to be polite, then leave early enough to either completely sidestep or at the very least remove yourself from whatever nonsense is being stirred up. Sorry, gotta go. Period. Now that said, in order to be able to do this gracefully with as little drama as possible, you'll have to make sure that you have an exit strategy that you've planned out beforehand. A solid exit plan where you're not reliant on anyone else if and when you decide it's time to leave. Again, it's fully your number 1 job and responsibility to take care of yourself. So go in with a time limit in mind along with an exit strategy, and if things get tense or heated in any way, if things start to go sideways, if things become too uncomfortable for any reason, you have the ability to take care of yourself by leaving. Go home and do something nice for yourself, or go meet with safe friends somewhere else. Whatever it takes, just take care of yourself in whatever way you need to. Again, that's your responsibility. Number 2, keep your expectations low. Smart people do not only keep their distance and set limits, but they also keep their expectations low when it comes to dealing with narcissists over the holidays. Now, what I mean by that is, do not expect a narcissist to suddenly morph into a good, kind, decent, empathic person with a conscience, just because it's the holidays, and just because you want them to. Be smart. Keep your expectations nice and low so you're not hurt and disappointed when the mask slips and they let their true colors shine, as they always do. A good example of how this can happen, especially over the holidays, is the fact that, not always, but certainly often enough, narcissists are disappointing gift givers. As one of our viewers, David, mentioned in the comments a couple of weeks ago, they'll do things like give totally inappropriate gifts and then sit back with smug on their face and wait for your reaction. Like, for example, buying sweaters that are 3 sizes too small, or adult-themed books for young kids, as well as toddler toys for teenagers. They'll also re-gift cheap, tacky gifts and make a big fuss as if they've just given you a diamond bracelet. It's a form of gaslighting, friends. And as David said, it's as if they're just daring you to be ungrateful. And that's exactly what they're doing. Setting you up so they can now point the finger at you and call you a spoiled, selfish brat and tell everyone what an absolute ingrate you are. And the moment someone does this to you, you have all the information you need about who and what you're dealing with. Keep your expectations low, friends, and have a good laugh at their antics when all of this is said and done. Narcissists are infamous for the bizarre ways they try to set us up. Beware and do not fall into the silly trap. Now comment below and tell me whether or not you have a solid plan in place for how to deal with the narcissists in your life over the holidays. Let me know in the comments section below. This is important. And if you'd like to learn more about the possibility of working with me in my 8-week transformational coaching program, the Freedom Class, there is a link in the description below where you can apply to see if you qualify for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team. Now, the third way intelligent people deal with narcissists over the holidays is to recognize and ignore the insults. Narcissists love to insult others, and often they'll do so in a subtle way. They'll use backhanded, passive-aggressive, so-called compliments that are absolutely meant to be insulting. They'll say things like, "I'd never have the confidence to wear that," or "I wish I was as relaxed as you are about the clutter and the messiness." Or something I heard recently, "Oh, I never thought you'd get married. Congratulations." Really? Are you sure congratulations is what you meant to say? Because kind of sounds to me like you might have meant something else. Let's face it, narcissists are not only green with envy, they are also incredibly mean-spirited, angry, shame-filled, and deeply insecure. Even if they don't appear that way on the surface, why else would they say things they say and think they can get away with it and it should be totally acceptable? Thinly veiled insults like this are meant to drop little seeds of doubt in your mind by putting limits on your perceived value, worth, and capabilities, according to them anyway. And if you're playing it smart, keeping your expectations low, setting limits, and you have an exit plan, you should not only be able to see this garbage for what it is, you should also be able to remain bulletproof in the face of it. And you'll know you've made progress with your healing and recovery work when this kind of so-called compliment has absolutely no charge, zero effect on you. It doesn't even land, never mind hurt. In fact, you find it laughable, knowing full well that it says far more about the person saying it than it ever will you. Now, if you want to go deeper into the subject of how to deal with toxic family over the holidays, you can watch this video here and this video here. And with that, I'm going to call it a wrap. But don't stop now. I have well over 100 more videos right here on YouTube for you to watch to help you better understand the detrimental effects of narcissistic abuse, and more importantly, learn what you need to do now to heal from the abuse so you can start living your best life in peace, confidence, and freedom. And if you want to go deeper with me, go to TamieMCoaching.com and learn about my unique, tried and true process garnered over decades of experience, and learn how you can become my client.